This week, Jonny Robot tears the fabric of time itself with a look at Quantum Break. Mike goes sorting through his Videogame Shoebox and dusts off a copy of Mortal Kombat. And we spend a little time going very, very fast as we play Trackmania Turbo. This is Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this week saw a resolution to the long, drawn-out court case between Valve and the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, and the judge has not sided with the gaming company. Instead, it's been found that Valve Corporation has engaged in misleading or deceptive conduct through Steam by making false or misleading representations to Aussie consumers about refunds and guarantees. Long story short, Valve argued that it was not actually conducting business in Australia, and it did not need to offer refunds via Steam. The ACCC and the court argued that by selling games to Australians, Valve was conducting business down under, and by denying refunds was breaching Australian consumer law. In the 18 months since the court case started, Valve has started offering refunds, but it may still be liable to pay not only its own legal costs, but potentially up to 75% of the ACCC's as well. And sticking with Australia, the world of tanks has just gained a new resident as Wargaming rolls out the Australian cruiser tank Mark I. Better known as the Sentinel, this was the first and only Australian tank to enter mass production, but it never actually saw any action. By the time it was ready for the battlefield, the Australian Armed Forces had already been supplied with British and American tanks, so the Sentinel was never much more than a novelty. But now it's a novelty that you can drive. Be quick, the Australian cruiser tank is only available until May 1st, and then, just like the real thing, it'll be gone. And skipping to another very different world of Warcraft is not only hitting the silver screen later this year, but Blizzard has teamed up with Scholastic to turn it into a children's book. World of Warcraft Traveller features full-page sketches from Blizzard artist Samwise Didier and tells the story of 12-year-old Aramar Thorn as he discovers the mysteries and majesty of the world of Azeroth.
So the protagonist of Traveller is a kid named Aram. And to put it simply, he's the son of one of the world's greatest explorers. And through, a series of unfortunate events, he washes up on the shore at the far end of the world. And ultimately, with some of the lessons that Dad taught him and a magic compass, Aram's got to find his way home.
It's due out around the world in November, with a sequel already on the way by Christmas 2017. In other news, industry veteran John Carmack, the man who helped create id Software and who is currently Chief Technology Officer at Oculus VR, has been named as the 2016 recipient of the BAFTA Fellowship. Awarded each year, the fellowship is the highest accolade handed out by the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, recognising outstanding and exceptional contribution to film, games or television. In previous years, the Fellowship Award has been granted to luminaries including David Braben, Gabe Newell, Peter Molyneux, Shigeru Miyamoto, Nolan Bushnell, Will Wright, and, in 2014, the whole of Rockstar Games. And speaking of Rockstar, Red Dead Redemption is still not available for Xbox One through backward compatibility, but a whole stack of other games are. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen games as varied as Soul Calibur 2 HD, Halo Wars, Left 4 Dead 2, Dead Space, and Saints Row 4 added to the service, bringing the number of Xbox 360 games you can play on the Xbox One up to more than 150. That's not too bad for a service that was announced less than a year ago. Something that was announced far longer ago than that is Final Fantasy XV, which we first heard about all the way back in 2006 when it was known as Final Fantasy Versus 13. In the 10 years since, it's been renamed and brought under the official Final Fantasy banner and re-revealed as a sort of boys-only road trip. And this week, we finally found out when we'll be able to get our hands on it. At an event called Uncovered, we learned all sorts of things. There's a free standalone spin-off called Platinum Demo that you can download right now, featuring a young version of Noctis, as well as some battle gameplay and a drivable car. It is new content, but it will unlock free DLC for Final Fantasy XV. There's also a new tie-in anime series, Brotherhood Final Fantasy, which tells the backstory of the 4 main characters. Episode 1 of that is also available now, with 4 more on the way. Even more exciting though is the feature-length CGI movie named Kingsglaive. It's been in the works for 3 years now and stars Game of Thrones favourites Lena Headey and Sean Bean, as well as Aaron Paul, who was in both Breaking Bad and the Need for Speed movie. And that all-important release date for Final Fantasy 15? September 30, just like the leaks said it would be. In hardware news, there is a persistent story doing the rounds that there is a new PlayStation on the way. Named either the PlayStation 4.5 or the PlayStation 4K, the console will, surprise, boast 4K compatibilities, with a more powerful GPU running an upgraded version of AMD's APU technology from the PS4. That means rather than playing games at the current standard maximum resolution of 1920 by 1080, you could be playing at 4096 by 2160, if there are games that support it anyway. This report has been backed up by a few different sources who were apparently chatting about the new hardware at GDC in early March. The new APU could also move from the current 28nm chip to either a 14 or a 16, bringing it in line with current industry standards. And quickly, if you rushed out and pre-ordered an Oculus Rift VR headset, you are officially part of the problem. The hardware started shipping on March 28, but many customers are yet to see their new gadgets. Oculus has admitted that due to the ridiculously high number of orders received on day one, the factory building the headset has experienced a component shortage. The bad news, obviously, your Rift is still a little way off. Instead of March 28, the new date is estimated as April 12. The good news, orders placed before April 2nd will receive free shipping as an apology from the manufacturer. And finally this week, movie news of a slightly different kind. There's another Resident Evil film on the way, but it's not starring Mila Jovovich. Instead, Resident Evil Vendetta is a CGI project focusing on Leon S. Kennedy and following on from 2008's Degeneration and 2012's Damnation. This one was announced in a rather unusual way. It was officially unveiled at the Tokyo Motorcycle Show, where it was also revealed that Leon will spend part of the movie astride the new Ducati X-DFL. Vendetta is set to hit Japanese cinemas in 2017, and we will keep you posted about an international release date. For more information on any of these stories, or to keep up to date with the latest gaming news, head to playerattack.com. But for now, stick around, got plenty more still to come.